Hey, everybody, it's your girl, Kelly Price, and you are listening to Talk with Taj. Keep it locked.
Good afternoon, Kelly Price. Welcome to the Talk with Taj show. Appreciate you coming on to the show. Give us a few minutes of your time.
Yes, sir. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. For everybody's listening, log on to kellyprice.com right now today, kellyprice.com, and her album, Kelly, is available on iTunes right now. Kelly, first I just want to tell you that I grew up listening to your very first album.
Wow.
And it was a classic, in my opinion, and I just want to congratulate you for your success.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for blessing us with Soul of a Woman. That was an incredible album.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, I want you to do me a favor real quick.
Yes, of course.
Women all across America,
yes,
from celebrities to average everyday women, are using the word diva.
Yes.
And I don't think they understand fully what this word means and how you come about of getting and earning the title. Can you explain to the ladies what the word diva means?
Well, when I think of a diva, I think of people like Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, Cheryl Lee Ralph, Angela Bassett, Halle Berry. But my definition of a diva is not the same. I think that the word diva has been misinterpreted. It's been incorrectly defined. I think that divas definitely have strong personalities, but they have the knowledge and the know-how to back up their strong personalities. I think that they know what they want. I think they're not afraid to go after it. In my opinion, a diva will stand up, and I've said this a lot recently. A diva's not afraid to be the loud no in a room full of yeses that are all wrong. A diva's not afraid to stand up against a room that is all wrong and take the right position. A diva's not easily swayed, but holds firm to her own convictions and takes her marching orders from a higher source, in my opinion. And every diva that I've ever had the blessing to witness and or work with or for exemplifies those qualities. I think that, the street definition of diva changes that. And I don't receive the street definition of diva. I think that those who wear it and wear it properly are the ones that we should take our lessons from and pray that one day we can live up to who they are. And that's what I strive to be.
All right. KellyPrice.com. Log on today. Her new album, Kelly, is available now. You've had an amazing career. You've been a songwriter. You've been on both sides of the coin, songwriter and a performer.
Yes.
Which one do you prefer?
Songwriting. As a songwriter, I've had the opportunity to write with and for, from one extreme to the next. You're talking about the Lox and Little Kim and Mace and on one end, and then all the way on the other side of the writing pen has been Winona Judd and Bonnie Raitt. I literally get to be whoever I want to be through songwriting because I get to express it for whomever I'm writing the song for. Or even if it's just a song that I'm not necessarily concentrating on for a specific artist, I get to write whatever I'm feeling. And if it finds a home with an artist that can express it better than I can, then it gets the chance to be released for the world to hear. But I consider myself a writer first. Even though I've been singing my whole life and singing longer than I've been writing, I on purpose wrote my first song at 6 or 7 years old. I want to say 7 years old. And from 7 years old on, I've written songs on purpose, knowing that I was writing a song or writing a poem. And so I love it. It's not just music that I write, but I've written books. I write plays. So I do definitely consider myself a writer first, and I love it because it is an uninhibited form of expression, and I get to do whatever the moment feels like without judgment. You know what I mean?
All right. Now, with that being said, you have been in the game for quite some time. You have seen it all, I'm sure.
Yes.
Where do you see the state of R&B today?
Well, I don't believe that R&B music perceived will ever be the same again. I think that it has seen a time that I don't necessarily believe we're going to see again just because of the way we're even releasing music and music is being presented. Between file sharing and downloading, there are certain days, I believe, in music that we'll never see again, but I believe that the glory of the sound of true R&B music will never go anywhere as long as you always have singers who are committed to staying true to the craft. Live musicianship and going on the road and taking their musicians with them and using live background vocals are all a part of that, and singing real melodies with lyrics that are relevant to life. And, you can talk about partying and talk about having a good time, and you got songs sometimes that really don't say much of anything, but R&B at its best to me was, when you got a song that spoke to somebody's life, spoke to what they were going through. That's why, little kids still sing Marvin Gaye and Gladys Knight. And little kids, they're singing old school songs because those songs will forever be relevant. They'll forever have meaning because they talked about something that meant something. They talked about universal themes. So, when you hear My Girl, even though the track may sound old, the message inside of that song someone can relate to today just like they related to it 40 years ago. So
right.
I see it progressing and having to move forward with the electronic age and the digital age, but I see that its integrity can remain intact as long as there are people who remain committed to keeping the true elements of R&B intact.
Yes, and we need that old school R&B back. I told somebody one day, I said, it is jumping all around and dancing is cool, but it's nothing like somebody standing in one spot with a microphone, with a band behind them, and just letting that voice rip. You can't replace that with dancing or changing the tempo. I have a two-part question real quick.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on the reality show R&B Divas of L.A.
Thank you.
And I would like to ask you, how did that show come about, and what are you and the ladies' relationship like today?
Well, the show came about actually, I first talked about the show with Nikki Gilbert and Faith Evans, I want to say at this point at least 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago, when the show had just really been conceptualized and put on paper, and when it was a synopsis, I was already involved in the conversation before it had ever been taken to a production company or a network. So I've kind of been involved at some level almost since the very beginning. And with it, I kind of wanted to watch it and see it play out because reality TV has, in my opinion, been everything from really wonderful to really kind of crazy based on what I've watched. I think my favorite reality show of all time goes down in history of being Run's House because to me, it was great television, and even though it was reality TV, it allowed their family to kind of show their flaws and their interesting times without being disrespectful. And then we know that we've seen it at the other extreme of it. So, my involvement from the beginning, I wanted to watch it and see how things were going to go with the way the series was put together. And as of right now, my relationship with the ladies on R&B Divas of L.A., it just kind of is where it is. I think that in the end, people are saying that there's a lot of beef right now. I still don't consider myself as having any beef with any of the ladies because to date, I've never fought any of them. To date, I've never gotten into a nasty argument with them. We've had conversations where we had differing opinions, but I've never yelled at any of the ladies. I've never had a fight with any of the ladies. I think that as adult people, when you have relationships with people, be it business or personal, you're going to have times when you don't necessarily agree on everything. But mature adults don't have to resolve things with fighting. And so, fighting on TV is what seems to be the thing that they think sells right now. So they're doing what they need to do to make a lot of money. And trust me, the people who sit behind the desks, whose names you don't know, have made a lot of money off of this show and putting it out there that we are going head-to-head with each other, but that's not the case. I have a business relationship with these women. None of us were the best of friends when we got started. I honestly had a very friendly relationship with Michel'le before we got started. I still do. I did not know Dawn Robinson prior to doing the show personally, but she and I have a very good relationship right now. Little Mo and I had known each other for a lot of years. I think we decided that there were different things that we needed to do for our careers where they were being in different places when we started the show. And Shantae Moore and I had known each other for a lot of years, and we've always been friendly, and we've done business down through the years. Our situation was already a little weird when we got started because of her divorce from her husband, and her husband and I are actually, her ex-husband and I are very close. So that makes it a little strange, but not to the point of where we couldn't work together, because we have worked together in the last couple of years. I think that being put under the scope of television and having a lot of extra hands in the pot trying to push certain agendas kind of hurt it somewhat, but I can work with anybody in this business. 21 years later, I can still work with anybody in this business because I don't have to go home with them. I can get the job done, and at the end of the day, clock out, as it were. And the people that I go home with are the people who I choose to spend my time with when I'm not working. And so that's the way it is.
Well, thank you for clearing that up for the public and for the listeners, because definitely that's something that I'm pretty sure everybody was wondering. You have a new reality show coming out, Too Fat for Fame.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. And going on with that, do you personally feel that early in your career, did your weight hinder your career?
Oh, absolutely. At the earliest portions of my career, I was told that I would never be able to do anything other than stand behind someone else, or if I wanted to be my own artist, that I could only do house music or gospel music. That's what I was told. That as a plus-size woman, that I didn't fit the bill or the image to be an R&B singer because, you know, I had to look a certain way, and I just didn't have that look. So it definitely hampered it in the beginning, but it ended up becoming a driving force, and it became the thing that ended up making me relatable to the greater part of the world, because more of the world looks like me than looks like a runway model. The truth of the matter is, according to industry standards and even medical standards, most people are considered overweight. They don't fit the ideal weight charts. So I became relatable. So what happened for me in the beginning, what was a stifling thing, ended up being a driving force. Now, down through the years, there are some things that absolutely still I did not qualify for because I wasn't the skinny girl. But with that, I've always used it, and that's the reason why Too Fat for Fame has come about. It's the thing that I still deal with today. I dealt with some weight discrimination even on the set of R&B Divas LA. You know, at a point, the producers thought that it would be funny to have me in a dress that was 2 sizes too small when we did the chapel scene in Las Vegas. They thought that that would make for funny television, and I was very offended by it. Those are the kind of things. That's the reason why when you saw everybody in a wedding gown, I had on a blue dress, because they bought my dress too small on purpose, and I refused to wear it. So it's still something that 21 years in, so many Grammy nominations later, after having written for so many people, I'm still faced with people that feel like being fat is funny and I should go along with the joke. So that's why I created Too Fat for Fame, because I feel like there are so many talented people out there, actors and actresses and models and dancers, and they shouldn't have to be subject to being somebody's idea of a joke just to get their foot in the door. If they're talented, they ought to be able to be able to just shine in whatever their gift is, and I want to be able to provide that platform for them. So I'm going hard for all my plus-size men and women, both men and women, who have talent and who feel like they deserve an opportunity to make it and to not have to allow themselves to be disrespected because of their weight just to get their foot in the door.
All right. Well, congratulations, Kelly Price, on everything. And for all the listeners, KellyPrice.com. Go on there at iTunes right now and get the new album, Kelly. Last thing, Kelly, is there anything you want the fans to know, any new projects that we should look out for?
Yes, new music at the top of the year, but please, Too Fat for Fame, if you know anyone, our auditioning process for the first cycle is done, but definitely come check us out at www.toofatforfame.com. Check us out on Facebook at Too Fat for Fame and on Twitter at Too Fat for Fame TV. Just to keep up with what's going on and keep up on the process and see who makes it into the house in Hollywood. And then when we come on the air, be sure to look for the show. It's going to be a wonderful experience. I have the most incredible team of industry mentors put together, from Faith Evans to Lorianne Gibson. We're going to whip these people into shape. And when I say whip them into shape, I mean make them a force to be reckoned with, even though they're considered too fat for fame.
Well, definitely come. We definitely want you back once the show is rolling and once the show is over to talk about the success of the show.
Absolutely.
Definitely come on back. Thank you very much. I know you got to go.
Yes,
You have a great day. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Take care.